Okay. Probably one more minute. One more minute. And then we'll go ahead and get in there. So one of my favorite professor says.
La gallina no sentido.
Somebody say something. Okay, no, we're really going to wait one more minute. We have one last talent on the way. Okay. Really, really quick. Just bear with us. It's going to be worth your while, I promise. It's going to be a good vibe all around. Literally just trying to give our headliner Darius a few minutes, a few more minutes to get on, but we're definitely getting ready to start. Like 2 minutes, I promise. Just bear with us. We've had a few different things go on in the last 37 minutes. So yeah. Oh, definitely just want to mention this before we go ahead and get in. This event is recorded. There is live transcript available as well. Um, we we just want to be able to remember this. And then also for the people who register for the event who were not able to attend, we definitely want this to be available for them as well. So I just want to say, like, by continuing to be on this event, you are consenting to being recorded. If you don't want your face to be shown, feel free to turn off your video and things like that. But yeah, we got to do the legal stuff too. All right, so we can go ahead and dive in. All right. So hello, everyone. All the folks, guys, gals, people, loves, honey buns, and sugar plums. Hello, welcome to the space. So glad to have you all here in community with us. Happy International Women's Day, folks. This is amazing. This is so cool that we're having this event on International Women's Day. This is also the 40th anniversary of this bridge called My Back this month. I'm not quite sure on the specific day, but we just thought it would be amazing to highlight these women on International Women's Day, something that, we feel like they would have approved of and definitely been in support of. Just really quick introduction. I am Maiya Sinclair. I will be guiding the space tonight. I'm gonna also spit a little something at the end. Definitely will be performing tonight, but I'm definitely here just to curate this space, to kind of just set the tone for what we're gonna do. I will be your mistress of ceremonies for this evening. I definitely just want to take a moment to say thank you to my wonderful, awesome, amazing team, Amalia, Camilla, Nina, Kendall, for working with me, working to support me, because there's definitely been moments in this event that I did not have it, but that's the beauty of having a team and being able to rely on them. They have been simply amazing, and I have so much gratitude and appreciation in my heart for you guys for helping me pull this event together. Also want to say thank you to the DePaul Women's Center, to Triota, to Daisy's. I'm gonna forget somebody. Let me go pull up the flyer real quick because yeah, that's easy. Okay, guess that's not easy because it didn't come up immediately. But let's see if I can be fast. Okay, yeah, I'm fast. Okay, yes, thank you to the DePaul Women's Center, Center for the Black Diaspora, Critical Ethnic Studies, Latin American Latino Studies, and Center for Latino Research, LGBTQ Studies, Peace, Justice, Conflict Studies, Women and Gender Studies, as well as Building Communities, Ending Violence, and Triota. Whoo! Do y'all hear all the power, all the intention, all the care, all the work, all the community that went into this event, that's supporting this event? I don't know about you, but I'm so glad that everybody is here in community. We are here to celebrate this bridge called My Back. We are speaking from the 4th edition. So if you have the book with you, we will do our best to give pages to accurately align with we will be reading. I feel like I'm at church. This scripture is taken from the 4th edition. I mean, this is a part of the Black Feminist Bible, the Chicana Feminist Bible, Women and Gender Studies Bible. So, hey. But yeah, we'll be taking it from here and just making sure I covered all bases. Also want to take a quick moment to thank our talent. A quick thank you to Angel, who is going to join us shortly. Want to say thank you to Rohelia Lily. Want to say thank you to Fani, and definitely want to say thank you to Nikki. Appreciate you ladies for offering this to us. I apologize if I misgendered you, but I definitely want to say thank you for offering your work, offering your words, and participating in this event. And then lastly, want to introduce to you all Darius Parker, who will be headlining. Really quickly, Darius, are you here?
Hey, I'm in finally.
Yes, great, perfect. So yes, definitely want to take a moment to introduce Darius Parker, aka Halle Berry Dari, aka my father, aka the myth, the man himself. He is so powerful. He brings such intention, such community, such work. He is a graduate of DePaul University, graduated with distinction with his master's in critical ethnic studies. He is also an associate professor at DePaul University, will be teaching his first class this summer. It is a PAX class. I want to say it's hip hop, pedagogy, and peace building. If you are a DePaul undergrad student, please go take that class. The preview was amazing. You will surely miss out if you don't go get that class. He can take a moment to tell you a little bit more about himself when he gets ready to do his first piece. But yes, he is amazing, and we're just gonna do this thing, okay? So I'm gonna pass this over to my wonderful teammate, Amalia. She's going to ground us, okay? I'm ready. I hope you are too.
Thank you so much, Maya. Thank you, everybody, our whole amazing team. Again, happy International Women's Day. I'm so grateful to be sharing this space with so many wonderful people and to be a part of this discussion around this collection of beautiful knowledge. So, to get us into an even collective space, I'll invite everyone to either close your eyes, keep them open, whatever feels comfortable for you, and to take a couple of deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, maybe placing a hand on your heart, feeling your body move with you, and exhaling deeply through your mouth. And doing this a couple of times at your body's own pace. Feeling your chair and your feet on the floor, your hands on your body as your chest moves up and down with your breath, and as your stomach maybe expands and compresses. Once you find a rhythm, I'll invite everyone to think about what this text has meant to you. What are these authors' experiences, words, works of art? What has this done for you in your journey? Inside, outside of the classroom? How does this text speak to your life? Let those thoughts come to you. Maybe they're in a certain part in your body. Just allow yourself to be there for a couple of moments. And for those who want to share, if you want to drop some stuff in the chat, I'd love to read it out loud. For those who just want to sit, you are totally welcome to do that. Keep breathing, keep feeling your body moving. I would love to now ask everyone to think of 1 or 2 or 3 people that you would like to share this evening with. Who would you like to bring to the space with you today? Knowing all about this bridge, all about the solidarity, the expansion of difference, the acknowledgement of love, pain. Who do you want to share this evening with you? Think of that name. If you want to drop it in the chat, you can. If not, just repeat it to yourself and know that they are here with us. That's so beautiful, Maya. Thank you. And when you all are feeling ready, you can open your eyes and return to the space. Thank you.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you, Amalia. That was really beautiful. And wow, I'm Anne Russo. I'm the director of the Women's Center, and I'm a professor in Women's and Gender Studies. And I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to be here this evening with you in this tribute to This Bridge Called My Back. I just want to start by saying, oh my God, deep thanks and gratitude for Maiya Sinclair for having a vision and working to make it happen. I remember when we first started talking about it last year, actually, around this time. I also want to thank, as Maiya did, Amalia, Kendall, Camilla, and Nina, who've been working to build this, and Darius for his offerings this evening, and for all the others who are sharing your words and your vision, and for all of you who are here. I have to say, This Bridge Called My Back radically changed my life. It changed my feminism. It changed who I felt in alignment with. It changed everything I did, like everything, it changed the way I related to people. It changed the way I thought about myself and others. It changed the way that I thought about the world, just radically and deeply changed. And I often go back to it. I read it in 1982. This was my copy of it. I still have it. It's, all, written on, and I read it as a graduate student at the University of Illinois, and it created quite a stir in a feminist theories class I was in, a major stir. And the more I saw feminist resistance to the book and the call for change, the more I came to understand the truth of what the authors and writers were offering. I learned so much from the stories, the words, the wisdom, the love, the care. I felt the grief and anger. I identified with the call for change. And I listened to the deep challenge to white feminists like myself, to our ideas, our politics, and practices. And it was really this bridge that I committed to change. I experienced the book as an invitation to build a different kind of feminism. I feel like it was built even in the book itself, where people challenge one another within the pages of the book. A feminism that could be built through a recognition of the divides and the differences between us, and the way that we might be able to cultivate accountability around those divisions, and build a really, amazing movement. It's been a very difficult thing to do. Like, the challenge of the book remains today, right? But nevertheless, it made me realize that we could, and we're still trying to build a movement that in Shari Moraga's words would feed people in all of our hungers, a movement where we could build across our differences and learn to work in coalition and solidarity with one another. I think their words are as relevant today as then. Every time I read it, I learn something new. I go deeper with it. And I think tonight, I'm so excited for this tribute as another opportunity to build something new. So thank you again to all the organizers, all those who are going to share your words and your wisdom and your stories this evening, and for all of you who are in the audience. So welcome, 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 and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Russo. I'm so glad to have you here with us. Thank you for this opportunity. It's always a pleasure. And when I think about how our friendship, how our relationship, how your mentorship, how we have evolved, and that now we're in this place, it is always with gratitude to be in your company. And I believe in giving people their flowers while they're alive. I think Dr. Russo gets embarrassed sometimes when I talk about her. But I mean, it's all facts. Everyone who knows you knows that I speak 100% truth. And so thank you for your words and this opportunity. We're gonna keep it moving. We're gonna go ahead and give it to Darius Parker, okay? He's going to give us, his poem is called Ode to Black Women. Darius, this is also an opportunity for you to say, your piece, talk about yourself, what your work and all that stuff. So just take a moment to just be you and have the space, have your way.
That's period. So thank you, Maiya, for inviting me tonight. Thank you to DePaul. Thank you to the Women's Center, which is probably the most kick-ass center that I have ever been a part of. Thank you. And I feel the same way that Maiya has said. So I want to uplift everything that she brought to the space in centering and loving on Anne. And you are such a phenomenal human being and spirit. the way that you touch and captivate lives. I don't even think there's really true words to describe it. You are so amazing. I admire and appreciate your love and mentorship so, so much. Even after, I've exited the halls of DePaul, we are still connected. And I love that. And I hope we can continue to do that. But just, yeah, thank y'all for giving home this space. My name is Darius R. Parker, BKA Halle Berry Dari. I'm a Black, queer, gender dismantlist. And I am here today just to, center some poetry, right? My mentee, my daughter Maiya, had this idea about this event, had this idea of how it can be curated. I'm just like, do what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? Pull who you need to pull, make this thing what it needs to be. And she's like, can you come do poems? And I said, sure. So yeah, again, thank you, Maiya, for inviting me here. And I truly value this work. I truly value this bridge called My Back because, like Anne had mentioned, it is such a beautiful, beautiful wealth of knowledge, experience, and love. And I think we don't center that enough, right? If you look deeply into this bridge called My Back, it is all love. The stories of love, of connectedness. And so when I was thinking about the first poem that I would share, the Ode to Black Women, I actually wrote this for my thesis. To center Black women, the Black women who have raised me. I'm a son of a Black woman. I'm a grandson of a Black woman. I'm a nephew of a Black woman. So I'm like, the Black women that raised me up. So let me make sure I'm doing right by them as I navigate this thing called life in the world. I'm also about to leave my mom's house. So I was like really full circle. And she is not taking it well. I'm her only baby, but thinking about having opportunities like this where I'm able to, speak on our relationship, speak on honoring and centering her. I think that's where the pride and love comes. So send my mama some love, y'all. She is struggling like, I don't want to lose my only baby. But here is an ode to Black women. Brown skin girl, your skin just like pearl, best thing in the world. Nobody change you for anybody else. Singing brown skin girl, your skin just like pearl, the best thing in the world. Nobody change you for anybody else. Singing. At the beginning, God created Eve of bone and stardust, her skin bronzed and bulletproof, her breath, the sweetest smell of lilac and jasmine, her tears formed the holiest of waters, bore from the rib of a man. Their stories always seem to begin with their male counterparts, as if God, a woman herself, didn't bear Eve, carry her magic from galaxy to garden, sprout her beauty from sacred soil. This is a man's world, isn't it? Well, who the hell do you think drew him the map? It's like women have to constantly prove themselves, prove that they are strong enough, smart enough, valuable enough. My grandmother is tired of the bullshit, pissed off, over it when a Black woman is undermined. She's expected to still adhere to her responsibility, like Black women can't catch a break, like let alone take one. Black women have to still carry the home on her back, carry her seeds on her back, carry this world on her back, but still crack a smile, still be polite, still bat her eyelashes and be the beauty men seek. This is a man's world, right? Performing for culture in which she doesn't want to. Black women be prototype, be trigger warning, resilient, be trigger warning, heavy, be trigger warning, unsafe. Click clack, the protected. Must wear the mask of nurturer and warrior, constantly on the verge of breaking down, but can't afford to break. There will be a day when this Black woman will give birth to a daughter, and as much as she wants her to be untainted, she has to prepare her for the world. Raise not a child, but a warrior, a soldier, one that can survive the cruelty of this world. Brown-skinned girl, keep shining. Brown-skinned girl, keep flying, keep being, keep loving, keep guiding. You matter. I share.
Oh, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes. Definitely, if y'all want to give props, you can unmute yourself for a little bit, and we trying to create as much space as we can virtually. But yes, thank you. So next on our agenda, we did have a a talent. Her name is Angel Buckley. She was going to read All Black Girls Go to Heaven. Angel, are you here? Going once, going twice. She did injure herself about an hour ago, but she told me she was real dedicated. We told her she didn't have to be. So we're just gonna hold her real close at heart and at mind, and pray that everything is okay and that it turns out well for her. If she slides in, we can definitely share her poem at that time because it was definitely beautiful. So while we're holding space for that, we're going to go ahead and get into our first reading from the Combahee River Collective Statement by my good sis Kendall. Have your way, girl.
Thank you, Maiya. We're just going to read a section from the statement. We found that this part really got to the heart of what we wanted to share with y'all today. So, above all else, our politics initially sprang from the shared belief that Black women are inherently valuable, that our liberation is a necessity, not as an adjunct to someone else's, but because of our need as human persons for autonomy. This may seem so obvious as to sound simplistic, but it is apparent that no other ostensibly progressive movement has ever considered our specific oppression as a priority or worked seriously for the ending of that oppression. Merely naming the pejorative stereotypes attributed to Black women, mammy, matriarch, sapphire, whore, bulldagger, let alone cataloging the cruel, often murderous treatment we receive, indicates how little value has been placed upon our lives during 4 centuries of bondage in the Western Hemisphere. We realize that the only people who care enough about us to work consistently for our liberation is us. Our politics evolve from a healthy love for ourselves, our sisters, and our community, which allows us to continue our struggle and work.
I mean, cause period. Who gonna do it but us? I mean, and that's, yes, we're speaking specifically to Black women, but I mean, women of color, we all are under the pressure, the weight of white patriarchal capitalistic society. And if ain't nobody else gonna do the work for us, we gotta do it for ourselves because we love us and we love one another. So yes, thank you to my good sis Kendall. We're going to go right ahead on into our next piece, A Love Affair by Rogelia Lilly. If you are ready, the space is yours.
Thank you, Maiya. Can y'all hear me? Thank you, Maiya, and all of the organizers. What an honor it is to be here. It is for me really like a full circle, really my awakening and sort of recognition with an academic space, a place that I didn't really see myself was with Chedi Moraga and Loving in the Warriors in particular, and later on Chicana writers. So for me, it's full circle. And like Darius, I do believe it's a piece of love, but also survival and struggle. And I come here today as a survivor of many institutions and institutional violence. So I want to preface my piece by saying that it was originally conceived as a letter to an abuser. And this is what what I'm going to read today is what it's morphed into. Its first iteration began in an incredible space offered up by the artist and activist at Surviving the Mic. And I want to give a quick shout out to Virtually Together, an online support and writing group for survivors. Please find them on Facebook or Instagram. That's my plug. And I won't say more because we'll be hearing from the amazing Nikki Patin in a bit. I dedicate this piece to the community, especially the community of women that sustain me. Thank you all. A love affair. To assess the damage is a dangerous act. Chedi Moraga. You seduced me with your credentials and culture of meritocracy, making me feel like I needed you to validate my competency, my skills, my worth. You like me competing with the others, vying for your attention and approval because you made me think I belonged to you. But it was the theory in the flesh that you wanted from me. If I kept it reined in, calling me your superstar and glorifying me because I was your pinche workhorse, the mula. You lured me with your resoundingly empty rhetoric of truth and compassion. And I can't even rid myself of the language you convinced me made me worthy to occupy your spaces, performing to your liking, for never being enough, simply an igualada, as they say. You made me think I could not leave and sucked me dry. But beneath the veil of truth, I discovered my true love. And not with the competencies you packaged to your youthful, wide-eyed clients like I once was, because they need to survive in the real world, you say. Constantly forcing us to meet standards of excellence and jump through all your little convenient methods, tracks, and ever-shifting assessments for what? For growth? For protection? Nah. To learn to spit out the whitewash computations that make me sound more like you. That's it, ain't it? To make you comfortable. My light skin wasn't enough. To control and patrol me in your panoptic way until I learned to serve you devotedly, vocationally. This way I could fit neatly into boxes and corporate mindsets, living glassy-eyed, securely satisfied to just too afraid to challenge the grip you and your bros have on me, on us. Who's real world anyway? Because I know a whole lot of folks ain't set foot in this joint and they're doing all right. Maybe. The real community I found here were the others like me, reflecting my life, my struggles, my experiences, damn same high school, the neighborhoods I came from. They reminded me of who I was when I started this affair, of my musings and my trust in you. We latched to each other because we recreated a sense of home, an intangible recognition, safety, and reprieve, most of the time straight up survival. We did this desperately because we began to realize this love you proclaimed was not for us. It didn't represent us or speak the languages we spoke. You think it's easy to try to translate to you that not much has changed between them and me? Like them, I wanted your love and approval so badly because that's all I knew. That's all my family knew. That's all my raza knows. I wanted to mimic you and feel important, feel smart, one day be recognized so that I would know I truly was your one and only. But I also layered the ethnicity marker stick, becoming angrier and bolder in my huipiles and hoops to keep my roots close and continuing to make you feel good about choosing me. But I got fucking exhausted. I embodied the doubt, the pain, the madness, having to authenticate myself back and forth to them so they knew I'm real, legit, because the others like me sometimes treat me like you. They don't believe me. They question my intelligence too and can't fathom how I got from that hood to this hood. Do you know the responsibility of leveraging the elusive privilege of power that title brings me, Doctora Ibarra? It's a dead end. How foolish of me to dress in your $800 regalia in full pageantry. Each time I did, I held my head high, always on the brink of tears because it seemed like a fleeting dream. This myth I had arrived. Knowing the struggle of my comunidad, thinking I had reivindicated the literal death and addiction of my father because that was what brought me to you. And he was never enough. Pues si chingado se puede, papi, si se puede. Or might he truthfully remind me, cuidado, mija, aunque la mona se vista de seda, mona se queda. The irony of this self-fulfilling prophecy of this hypnotic relationship is that perhaps we can break free. There is an awakening, a concientización complexly entwined with our own visceral experiences. The very human surge of love and curiosity that moved my immigrant parents to wake the fuck up and want more. The deafness and boldness to ask for more, to feel inherently worthy that there might be joy and reward in other lands, even as they conquered their fears of the unknown, facing their own deaths. Those values, those skills help me challenge your hollow creeds of moral courage and academic freedom. At the cost of what? The very mind, fire, and spirit that you beguiled and that you claim to ignite. I was ignited when you first met me, mijito. But the truth is that you've defined me. I'm a part of you. I'm trying to live a life without you, outside your shadow, to find forgiveness and repair, to heal from the violence and the trauma. While I try to deny the importance of the title I earned on the backs of mi raza, it still fills my chest with pride, gives me airs of arrogance to distinguish my exceptionalism, my dignity. I still measure my greatest capacity to your standards. The PhD, I still remind myself, the highest degree in academia, si se pudo. So I stand before you, Doctora Ibarra, added to the list of unemployed, with a mix of shame and pride, recovering, still standing, and free. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Recovering, still standing, and free. Man, thank you, a survivor. Thank you. Thank you for that. We're going to go ahead and do our reading, La Guerrera by Camilla. If you are ready, the space is yours.
I'm ready. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely amazing. Sorry, I'm like emotional over here. All right, I'm gonna get into it. But one voice is not enough, nor two. Although this is where dialogue begins, it is essential that radical feminists confront their fears of and resistance to each other, because without this, there will be no bread on the table. Simply, we will not survive. If we can make the connection in our heart of hearts that if we are serious about revolution, better, if we seriously believe there should be joy in our lives, real joy, not just good times, then we need one another. We women need each other because your solidarity, self-asserting, go for the throat of fear power is not enough. The real power, as you and I well know, is collective. I can't afford to be afraid of you, nor you of me. If it takes head-on collision, let's do it. This polite timidity is killing us, as Lord suggests in the passage I cited earlier. It is in looking to the nightmare that the dream is found. There, the survivor emerges to insist on a future, a vision, yes, born out of what is dark and female. The feminist movement must be a movement of such survivors, a movement with a future.
A movement with a future, right? Because that's what we're hoping for. We're hoping to do this work for the future. So thank you, Camilla, for reading that. We're gonna go ahead and move right on along to Miss Ida May by Miss Nikki Patton, or Patine. I think I heard Rohelia said Patine, so we're gonna say it correctly.
I'm gonna give a quick lesson in how to pronounce my name because literally nobody gets it right. It's a Creole name, so it's pronounced Patan, like Patando Commando, or Botanical Gardens, or Patanda Bear, or Patando Calrissian, or Patan like Chopin.
Patan, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
There is space for that.
Yes. It's funny, the thing about my last name is it's actually a French slang for French kiss, and it also means doorstop and skate. And don't ask me, I don't know. I don't know where they got it from, but I know it's mine. So anyway, thank you. I'm gonna get started. I'm gonna read a piece. I know we were just talking about the future, but this piece is about the past. I'm currently working on a memoir, and it's one part persona, pieces written in the voices of my family. It's one part straight up like first person narrative. And then there's another part that's epistolary. So it's all written in letters as well. So for me, this was a really important piece to write. And you will find out more about it as I read it. So this is Miss Ida May. Miss Ida May, that one picture I have of you makes everything that I ever knew about myself confirmed and not able to be doubted or debated. Your name, which sounds like greens and cornbread, like the blues, like green grass in deep summer, like a river flowing slow but sure, like the woman from Tennessee that would affirm that Black folks did indeed invent rock and roll, is a lesson in the spirit knowing what it is before the brain or even the heart can catch up. You're the only Black woman in my lineage to whom I can trace a line who isn't the direct product of an interracial union. This is important. My mother is mixed with fine silky hair and a complexion that most people think is Puerto Rican or Mexican, and she was raised by her white mother, my maternal grandmother. That kind of motherhood hits different. As hard as it is for me to write these next words, I believe they are true. That white motherhood yields mixed children, is not often grounded in love. That the white motherhood that specifically raised my mother held a sinister edge that I felt even as a child. It is a motherhood crafted of spite, anti-Blackness, festering alongside maternal instincts, lack of knowledge, understanding and empathy, white supremacy breeding a distrust of one's own children. I am the daughter of that daughter, and none of them knew what to do with my hair, my body burgeoning as early as the third grade, my self-hatred pouring in with every stereotype, every joke, poking tiny holes into my consciousness until it was a raw and gaping maw of confusion and despair. You would have known, I think, how to help me navigate, how to line myself with pride, or at least common sense enough to guard against this pointed hatred that helped construct a clear quarter of my DNA. You, Miss Ida May, might have taken my face between hands I imagined to be heavy with labor, but gentle with care, and looked me in my eye and told me the truth, that this world may be crafted with the hatred of what and who is Black, but that we are the literal essence of the universe, and so can and should love ourselves even if no one else will. You would have showed me how to carry a big body with dignity, how to be big and pretty and bold without shame. You would have showed me what it really means to keep on keeping on, how to walk through this world without looking like what I've been through. You would have taught me strength and conviction well before trauma took up that instruction. I'd like to think that you would have taught me how to view this hatred from a distance, how to observe it, note it, strategize, not even against it, but around it, and ultimately find meaning and purpose outside and beyond anybody's white gaze. Maybe. I am deeply speculating here, wishing for wisdom from my other grandmother, who died a year to the month before I was born. The one picture I have of you shows a woman staring at the camera with no smile, expression indecipherable. Are you determined, scared, resigned, static? Are you pretending, masking whatever you felt that day, that moment, with the armor of a woman who didn't want to give up anything, not even a smile? Or are you just tired and waiting for whoever took that picture to finish up so you can do whatever it is that was next or necessary? I don't know, and I won't ever know. You were gone by the time you were 44. As my fingers type this letter to you as an ancestor, I am 42 and still feeling like I've barely cracked my 20s. I can't imagine being gone a few months and a year from now when I'll turn 44. I can't imagine being gone before 50, which is how old he was when my father, your son, died when his heart exploded. Both of you were big people. I'm working on shrinking myself, intentionally making myself smaller so that I may go a further distance than either of you were able to go. As I write this, in the middle of a pandemic that has kept me home and out of the view of the world for a year, I know that when I emerge again, very few people will recognize me and very few will know what I did to lose what I was carrying that I could no longer afford to carry. This is what I want to know most about you. What were you carrying? Why did you stop? What cut you down at the tender age of 44? Of all the ancestors I do not know and have never met, you are the one I miss the most. How can I miss someone I've never met? How could I not miss someone who has eyes just like me, who is big and lush just like me, but seems a bit sullen and sad, also just like me? From what my research into my ancestry revealed, here's what I know to be true about you. You were born in Topeka, Shawnee, Kansas on Juneteenth, 1932, almost 2 years after my maternal grandmother, who was born August 7th, 1930. What is also true is that when you were 8, you lived in Kansas City, Missouri, and that the census listed your race as Negro. Public records suggest you had at least 2 children, one of whom was my father. Everything else is lost to time. what you like to eat, what kind of music you like to listen to, whether or not you were an artist, if you drank or smoked, or were ever really loved. I can tell you that I like to eat things with a lot of flavor and love food from all over the world. I listen to all kinds of music, but jazz is my first love. I am absolutely an artist. I've done plenty of drinking and smoking, but not so much now. I've really been loved, definitely heartbroken, and have loved when loving only caused me harm. I've been loved most by your great-grandson, who is currently 7 years old and has been and is my greatest lesson in what it means to care for someone other than yourself. My Blackness has always been questioned, though not by me. I've always known I was Black, never wanted to be anything other than that, and despaired when other Black folks treated me as an outsider because of how strong my matrilineage shows up in my features and in my hair. They think these light eyes come from the white side, but these eyes come from my daddy, my father, who I never met until I was 21, had to track him down like a hunting dog tracks dinner. When I found him, staring into his eyes was like staring into my own. When I saw a picture of myself, him, and my mother all together, I finally felt like all the pieces of myself fell into place. Staring at that picture, I no longer felt like an outsider, and my Blackness could no longer be questioned. It is a concrete fact, much like the fact that my eyes don't come from my father as much as they come from you. Miss Ida Mae, I hope that you are somewhere where you can see your granddaughter, see me speaking up for folks who have been hurt, see my poems and my tears when I read them aloud, see me battling depression and anxiety, beating it back every day as I will myself relentlessly toward liberation, see me on stages and behind podiums and in front of classrooms, doing everything in my earthly power to honor the DNA that straightens my spine and fires my tongue. I hope you can see me raising your great-grandson to be free and happy, and how I say yes to him more than I say no, because the world is full of no. And I have a sneaking suspicion that you and my father heard plenty of that. I know my mother has, and that even my white grandmother did. My people are intimately familiar with no, experts on it, in fact. And so I say yes to my little boy as much as I can, because that's our next lesson. I love you. If you haven't heard that in a while, if you never heard it enough in your short life, please hear it from me. Even if you were an asshole, even if you were mean, even if you were cruel, abusive, and perhaps a total and unapologetic bitch, I love the whole and entire you. As always, the pressure is on Black women to carry what others can't or won't. And I'm sorry to rest my pride and my promise on your ancestral shoulders, but you're it, Ida Mae. You are the closest Black woman to me, from whom I can draw a direct line to myself. And I'm holding that line. I am holding that line. And I am honoring it in you by honoring myself and all that I have to offer this beat up, fucked up, mercilessly nasty ass world. This place is on my shoulders and on my ass too, but knowing that I am holding it with you, that we are holding it together, that you somewhere, somehow know my heart, know my spirit, put some strength into arms that occasionally tremble, picks up heads sometimes ready to fall, puts the steel back into a spine that is prone to melt at the temperature of want, and this soothes me. There is a Black woman to whom I belong, watching over me as I hold the world between my shoulder blades, just like she did. All that I ask is that you forgive me for all the ways in which I may have dishonored you. Those times that I made choices out of self-hatred rather than love. Those times when I was too scared to do right and too stubborn to acknowledge it. Every day, though, every day, I am striving to be better than I was before, to do better when I know better. I hope, wherever you may be, that you are proud that I carry your eyes and your blood, that your legacy has become through me, your loving granddaughter, Nikki. So thank y'all for giving me space to read that. It's a new piece, and it still like gets me every time. So thank you.
Correct. Sending you so much love, sending you so much warmth, and thank you and gratitude for sharing the things that make you vulnerable, things that still bring tears to your eyes, things that still embolden your spine to still just say what you're saying. So just thank you for that space. Like, man, I think we're all crying. I think the majority of us are like, but so we're sharing in that moment with you as much as we can for what that may mean to you. Thank you. We're going to keep on going. We're going to hear from my other good sis, Amalia. She's going to be reading Shari Moraga for The Color of My Mother. And then she's also going to talk about how and why we paired these two pieces together. So the floor is yours.
Thank you, Maya. I think at the essence of this bridge, right, is connection. And so this piece really stuck out to all of us, and me particularly, just because of the imagery that Moraga is able to pull just from a page and a half. And I felt like it really spoke in beautiful conjunction with your piece, Nikki. So, for the color of my mother. I am a white girl gone brown to the blood color of my mother, speaking for her through the unnamed part of the mouth, the wide arched muzzle of brown women. At 2, my upper lip split open, clear to the tip of my nose. It spilt forth a cry that would not yield, that traveled down 6 floors of hospital, where doctors wound me into white bandages, only the screaming mouth exposed. The gash sewn back into a snarl that would last for years. I am a white girl gone brown to the blood color of my mother, speaking for her. At 5, her mouth pressed into a steam, a fine blue child's line drawn across her face. Her mouth pressed into mouthing English, mouthing yes, yes, yes. Mouthing stoop, lift, carry. Sweating wet sighs onto the field, her red bandana comes loose from under the huge brimmed hat, moving across her upper lip. At 14, her mouth painted, the ends drawn up, the mole in the corner colored in darker, larger, mouthing yes. She praying, no, no, no. Lips pursed and moving. At 45, her mouth bleeding into her stomach, the hole gaping, growing redder, deepening with my father's parlor, finally stitched shut from hip to breastbone, an inverted V. Vera, Elvira. I am a white girl, gone brown to the blood color of my mother, speaking for her. As it should be, dark women come to me, sitting in circles. I pass through their hands the head of my mother, painted in clay colors, touching each carved feature, swollen eyes and mouth. They understand the expulsion, the splitting open, contained within the fixed expression. They cradle her silence, nodding to me. Thank you.
All right, so we're gonna go right into You Gotta Be. Thank you, Amalia, for reading those beautiful, beautiful words. But yeah, we're gonna go right into You Gotta Be by our other good sis, Miss Nina.
Hi, everyone. I'm Nina. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. I know they're my thing, but I just thought I'd say it. Yeah, so I wrote something new for this. I feel like I have done the same piece many times to a lot of you because I am always around lots and lots of you. And I'm so happy to see so many of your faces. But if you know the words to what this is about, please do sing along in your head. I'm sure lots of you will. Okay, I'm gonna get started. This is called You Gotta Be. Listen as your day unfolds, challenge what the future holds. Try and keep your head up to the sky. Lovers, they may cause you tears. Go ahead, release your fears. Stand up and be counted. Don't be ashamed to cry. You gotta be bad. You gotta be bold. You gotta be wiser. You gotta be hard. You gotta be tough. You gotta be stronger. You gotta be cool. You gotta be calm. You gotta stay together. All I know, love will save the day. My mom tells me that this song makes her sad. She doesn't explain why. She usually doesn't. She keeps the same mysticism and aloofness that most Black moms do. She says little because she knows that with time I will understand. I didn't know at the time that she said it, I was upset with her. We were singing and it was a nice day, and there aren't many nice days. And she said that the song made her really sad. Or maybe she didn't really, but I had the feeling that it made her really sad. And I still did not understand. I resent wisdom. If you are a wise Black woman, that is all you can be. So my mother is not wise. You got to be bad. My mom's sister, my aunt, was dating a man who was physically abusing her. From my understanding, he was a nasty man who did not like his perception of his strong partner, so he hurt her. My mom and her sisters did the same to him. In another car ride, most of the words that have stuck with me are from car rides. She laughs with her sister, mentioning that she had her other sister track his work schedule, memorize his route, waited for him to walk down a street, and beat him with a pipe, allegedly. You gotta be hard. Black in America is a dance or an exchange between hardness and softness. We are all soft, literally and figuratively. Soft because we know butters and oils that ease us to sleep when the world has beaten us down after another day. It is the only safety we really have. Jojoba oil, shea butter, Vaseline, grease. My mom reminds me that she is bad, hard, and soft when she dresses in her Tims from the 90s, her Louis Vuitton, and drinks her smoothies while doing charts. Or when she goes home and I hear her accent return, only to sing U2 in the morning and sing to our new cat. She once told me I needed to be harder. Then why did she raise me so fucking soft? You gotta be tough. After weeks of little sleep and a lack of appetite, my sister returns home from school. We both tell our mom of the sexual violence we've experienced whilst in college. My mom is mad. She was raised as soft. We didn't fight back. I didn't fight back. She wants me to enroll in self-defense classes. You gotta be tough. I never enrolled. And that's that one. And next I'm going to read one of the readings from Kate Russian in this bridge. And I'm reading To Be Continued. Yeah, so I'll start that one now. You didn't think I was going to stand on that corner by myself, arms and legs like boards, mouth full of cement forever, now did you? Got myself together and grabbed the first cab I saw, blew my budget for the week. I got myself home, lit me some candles and some sandalwood, put on some Dinah and Aretha, took myself a bath, made myself some grits and eggs, got on the phone and called up my girlfriend. I told her everything that had been going on, and you know what she said? She said, "Girl, I know what you mean." I said, "For real, don't you think I'm crazy?" "Listen," she said, "only crazy you are is thinking you owe something to some fool. Come waking up in your face, intruding on your life, talking trash. Think about it. How it sound you feeling ashamed because somebody come treating you like you was somebody's pork chop. Don't worry about it. When you got something to say it. Just make sure you're talking to somebody who shows some interest." Well, I started thinking about what my girlfriend said, and then something clicked. Then it all dawned on me. Me and my girlfriend, you understand, we've been friends for years. Now, whenever I get uptight, I remember what she told me. Keep moving, keep breathing, stop apologizing, and keep on talking. When you get scared, keep talking anyway. Tell the truth like Sojourner Truth. Spill all the beans. Let all the cats out of all the bags. If you are what you eat, you become what you speak. If you free your tongue, your spirit will follow. Just keep saying it. Girl, you'll get whole. Say it again and again. Girl, you'll get free. If you are what you eat, you become what you speak. Free your tongue and your spirit will follow. For your spirit, no telling what could happen.
Mm. Thank you, Nina. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for your first piece. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you for reading that. It's such beautiful words, so moving, so vulnerable. And so thank you for sharing that with us. Hold for sound for just a moment, working some things out. Quick intermission, like a little 2-minute ditty, just really quickly there. right, all right. Is everybody all right? Can I just get a quick check-in in the chat? Like, is everybody doing okay? Everybody feeling good? Is this moving you? Is this doing what it needs to do? Are we giving what needs to be gave?
Yes.
Yes, come on. We could do a little audible. We can let you talk back.
You did what needed to be done.
Okay. Are we doing it in here? Is everybody feeling good? Yes. My heart is full. Feeling incredible.
My heart is full too. This is Reverend Auntie.
Go ahead, Auntie.
Can you hear me, Maiya?
Yes.
This is Reverend Stephanie, Maiya's aunt, and I'm telling you, you young ladies and young man, uncle, you all have brought tears to my eyes. I can't even talk. It's just so amazing. And I keep hearing that we as women are trees. We can be a weeping willow. We can be an oak tree. We can be evergreen, or we can even be the apple that supposedly gave to Adam. So I just want to thank each and every one of you. Thank you for inviting us. Maiya, your mom, she's listening. Your grandmother, who's 90 years old, she's listening. And this is just awesome. Happy International Women's Day. Love you all.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm getting tears. Our body words. Come on, tears are body words. Yes. Feeling blessed to be here. So happy to share space with y'all. I feel full. So happy to be here and hear all of the contributions. Yes, moving me. It's healing. My heart is full. Feeling incredible. Yes, yes. Powerful. This is so beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Come on, intergenerational love. Yes, I come from a real strong line. 90 years of Black womanhood still around, kicking and rocking and rolling. Okay, so we're gonna move right on. We're gonna have Miss Vicky come through with another word for us. If you are ready, we are ready, and the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Maiya. I just wanted to let everyone know in the chat, I put the link to Surviving the Mic, which is the organization that I founded, crafts artistic and creative space for survivors of all kinds of trauma. And we've been doing weekly virtual space gathering for the last year, ever since the pandemic started. We've gone down to twice weekly workshops, first and third Thursday of the month. And then we also do a open mic for survivors the last or the fourth Saturday of every month. So yeah, it's a really awesome space and it's all free. So please check it out, survivingthemic.org. This is a piece that I have no idea where it's gonna go because it's not gonna go in my new memoir, but it is, anyway, I'm trying to do that thing where I don't explain everything. Yes, son, can I help you? Can I read this piece? Okay, I have a 7-year-old who likes to crash my sets. This is called Change I Wish to See. I have been angry for as long as I can remember. Where does all this rage come from? I haven't known or understood until now. My rage comes from being hurt over and over again and no one being moved to action by my pain. There is a specific kind of fury that comes from harm done, no one doing anything to heal the pain, and further, no one doing anything to prevent the harm from happening again. In fact, the specific kinds of violence I've experienced seem very necessary to both past and present world orders. The violence of racism, the insidiousness of sexism and misogynoir, the persistence of rape, the viciousness of homophobia and transphobia, the cruelty of ableism, the inevitability of sizeism and ageism, and the relentless grind demanded by classism all coalesce in my body and lived experiences and left me harmed. They have also left those around me, those who say they love me, willfully unaffected, because I can see they've been harmed too, but they won't. It's the conscious ignorance, the decided apathy that infuriates me. It is how we stand back casually and decide that someone's pain, so many people's trauma, whole cultures of millions suffering are just not enough to change anything. Every time I've been bloodied and bruised by someone else's desire for power, control, dominance, obedience, assimilation, both literal and metaphorical, eyebrows do not raise, mouths do not drop, tears are not shed. Every time I articulate that I'm scared or upset or hurt, I am told that I am fine, that this or that is not a big deal, that far worse has happened to some nameless, faceless other, and therefore whatever has happened to me is not that big of a deal. is not a deal at all, or even a deal breaker. People who call themselves my friends or family or loved ones have had no problem breaking bread with, sharing jokes, pages, posts, pictures, and stages with, and signing paychecks for someone who has harmed me. People who call themselves activists or educators or social justice minded or advocates actively defend those who have been accused of and sometimes admitted to harming others via rape, harassment, physical violence, and violences that have yet to be named. It is a hard lesson to learn, but natural as evolution, that the world is oriented towards and designed and built for and by predators. And so I stay enraged. I ask questions with impossible answers like, when do I get the world built for me? When will what has happened to me, the harm I've experienced, be enough to move the people I love to tears, to care, to concern, to action? When will the people I advocate for and with and the harm they experience be enough to shift dollars from the accounts of harm doers to the accounts of the harmed, to shift support from predators to survivors? When will we be considered human enough to matter? And the only response I get is silence. Someone, most folks, will call me maudlin, say I'm overdramatic, too sensitive. But what are emotions but to acknowledge the impact of the extremes of the human experience? What is more extreme than torn flesh, windpiped closed between someone else's fingers, eyes purple with blood brought right to the surface of, but trapped underneath the most delicate skin of the body? I've looked in the mirror at myself, staring at the aftermath of the harm I've just listed above, and known that no one would care what happened, that I'd just be blamed for letting it happen, shamed, judged, and then silenced because no one wants to hear that shit. What matters more than a spirit frozen numb by violence, layered onto violence, and then freezer burned by systems purporting justice, but never actually giving it? At 2, I learned to read. At 12, I wrote my first thesis. At 21, I dropped out of college. I said I left to be a poet, but that was just the PTSD speaking for me, protecting me from telling the truth, but more so from knowing that the telling of the truth would only take away and not give me what I wanted and needed: understanding, empathy, for somebody to do something, anything, for somebody to fight for me and say what I went through was not okay, that it wouldn't happen on their watch, for someone to care enough, love enough for there to be a watch, to watch over me and watch out for me. Instead, I pretended I was more artistic than traumatized, more a free spirit than a broken one. I pretended that I was more of a wild child than an abused child. I became more of a bully than a victim, preferring to destroy people with my tongue rather than stick around long enough to let them shatter a heart so full of cracks that I regularly spit blood bitter and hot and then brush the fuck out of my teeth so I can smile pretty and pretend some more. I am not a dream deferred, but a truth denied. I am a story that the world would prefer not to hear or read, the bitch constantly killing the vibe. I know now what has happened to me, and if no one else knows or listens or cracks my spine to read me, I know what happened. What happened is that I was hurt over and over again in ways known and unknown, and nobody ever thought it mattered. My blackness, my fatness, my femme, my queer, erasing me and making me and the harm done not matter. But I know, and it happened. I know, and it is a big deal. I know, and I want people in the world to change because of it. I know the change I want to see in the world. And I am so mad that my harm and the harm of so many others is not enough to change anything. People stay quoting a predator about the change they wish to see in the world, which I find ironic and more fuel for my rage. I have consistently been that change, tempering my rage with healing, offsetting my own desires for violence as revenge with desires for radical peace and expansive empathy. I am the change I want to see in the world, but I'm not the only one who needs changing. Thank you.
Ooh. Ooh.
Amazing.
Ooh. Ooh.
Amazing.
Especially offsetting my desire for violence.
Oh man.
I wronged people, hurt people, broken people, violated people, suspected to be the one to be quiet. How many times does that happen? Are we the ones supposed to be the bigger people? Are we the ones supposed to choose right? Are we the ones supposed to make peace, supposed to heal? While the person who hurt us gets to just do whatever, be whatever with no remorse, no restrictions, like nothing. And we have to sit there and be like, oh, because we know what's right. because we know what's right. Clearly we know what's right, right? So we're not going to be violent. We're not going to act out. We're not going to let the things that rightfully, righteous anger is so necessary in this work.
Yeah.
Man, Miss Nikki.
Thank you, Maiya. I was going to say this too, real quick, in response to what you just said. When we do express anger, I don't know about you, but whenever I have expressed anger, people treat me like I am somebody about to go marauding through the streets with like a semi-assault rifle on my back. Like they treat me like all of us are about to like march through the street with weaponry and like take them all out. And I'm like, honestly, the amount of mercy that you get from me, from so many other people, you should expect that, but you never get that. Like, you don't ever see us doing that. So I just, yeah, I righteous anger all day.
Mercy, this world doesn't deserve mercy. Capitalist society, the system, the state, it don't deserve mercy.
But we give it so much more than they deserve it.
Because that's the beautiful thing about mercy. Oh, I could talk to you all day. Moving on.
I'm gonna mute myself now.
But thank you so much. Thank you for that space. Thank you. We are going to go into reading number 5, which is Revolution. It is not neat or pretty or quick. My good sis Kimia is going to come in the space and we're going to move forward. On deck will be Darius.
I've been crying, so if my voice sounds like it, that's just what happened. Let's get into it. All right, this is Pat Parker also, y'all. Each time a national liberation victory is won, I applaud and support it. It means we are one step closer to ending the madness that we live under. It means we weaken the chains that are binding the world. Yet to support national liberation struggles alone is not enough. We must actively fight within the confines of this country to bring it down. I'm not prepared to let other nationalities do my dirty work for me. I want the people of Iran to be free. I want the people of Puerto Rico to be free, but I'm a revolutionary feminist because I want me to be free. And it is critically important to me that you who are here, that your commitment to revolution is based on the fact that you want revolution for yourself. In order for revolution to be possible, and revolution is possible, it must be led by the poor and working class people of this country. Our interest does not lie with being part of a system, and our tendencies to be co-opted and diverted are lessened by the realization of our oppression. We know and understand that our oppression is not simply a question of nationality, but that poor and working class people are oppressed throughout the world by the imperialist powers. We as women face a particular oppression, not in a vacuum, but as a part of this corrupt system. The issues of women are the issues of the working class as well. By not having this understanding, the women's movement has allowed itself to be co-opted and misdirected. It is unthinkable to me as a revolutionary feminist that some women's liberationists would entertain the notion that women should be drafted in exchange for passage of the ERA. This is a clear example of not understanding imperialism and not basing one's political line on its destruction. It is the passage of the ERA means that I am going to become an equal participant in the exploitation of the world, that I am going to bear arms against other third world women, people who are fighting to reclaim what is rightfully theirs, then I say fuck the ERA. One of the difficult questions for us to understand is just what is revolution? Perhaps we have had too many years of media madness with revolutionary eye makeup and revolutionary tampons. Perhaps we have had too many years of Hollywood fantasy where the revolutionary man kills his enemies and walks off into the sunset with his revolutionary woman who has been waiting for his return. And that's the end of the tale. The reality is that revolution is not a one-step process. You fight, you win, it's over. It takes years. Long after the smoke of the last gun has faded away, the struggle to build a society that is classless, that has no traces of sexism and racism in it, will still be going on. We have many examples of societies in our lifetime that have successfully armed revolution, and we have no examples of any country that has completed the revolutionary process. Is Russia now the society that Marx and Lenin dreamed? Is China the society that Mao dreamed? Before and after armed revolution, there must be education and analysis and struggle. If not, and even if so, one will be faced with coups, counter-revolution, and revision. Thank you.
Yes, because it ain't pretty and it ain't quick. Let's go, Darius.
Thank you so much to all the amazing women who have held space on this call. I'm so honored to even be in space with y'all. My queerness is a birth of the divine feminine, and I honor and center that each and every day. I show up in this world in full color, rainbow color, all that goodness, thanks to the beautiful women who have made it so. So Maiya was like, I need you to spit a queer piece. And I said, Maiya, I don't know what to And so I got this. And after this, I'm going to jump to a reading or a piece from this bridge, who's also shoulders on which I stand. So let me pull this back up. Shout out to Maiya Sinclair for holding space in this event. Thank you so much for bringing us together. If my queer had a color, it would be the color of spring. Opening and closing like a blossoming idea. Queer is the color of oceans and all of its shades, especially the dark ones. If my queer had a color, it would be black, like my skin, like the backs of my ancestors before me. If queer had a color, it would be golden, because against this black skin, we shine. My melanin is rooted in oppression, in the struggle. My blackness speaks a different language and you can understand. This nigga know how to speak, know how to maneuver in spaces they say ain't for him. I found the colors of my queerness, made it walk on water, on ceilings, cause fuck what you thought my queer black ass can do. I'm able to be, to exist. My blackness makes it so. My sexuality makes it so. Don't get me started on my gender and challenging everything y'all think a man is supposed to be. Don't let this gay shit fool you. Gay niggas got hands too. I'm here off the strength and the prayer of a woman. So that was that piece. Thank you.
Ooh, yes.
So I'm going to jump over to Ceremony for completing a poetry reading. What, Mildred, are you trying to jump in? I see you unmuting. Okay. This is a giveaway poem. You have come, gathering. You have made a circle with me of the places where I have wandered. I want to give you the first daffodil opening from the earth I have sown, to give you warm loaves of bread baked in soft mounds like breasts. In this circle, I pass each of you a shell from our mother sea, holding it in your spirit, and hear the story she will tell you. I have wrapped your faces around me, a warm robe. Let me give you ribbon work leggings, dresses sewn with elk teeth, moccasins woven with red and sky blue porcupine quills. I give you blankets woven of flowers and roots. Come closer, I have more to give. This basket is very heavy. I have stitched it of your kind words. Here is a necklace of feathers and bones, a sacred meal of choked cherries. Take this mask of bark, which keeps out the evil ones. This basket is only the beginning. There is something in my arms for all of you. I offer you this memory of sunrise through ice crystals. Here, an afternoon of looking into the sea from high rocks. Here, a red-tailed hawk circling over our heads. One of its feathers dropped for your hair. May I give you this round stone which holds an ancient spirit. This stone will soothe you, but then this basket is something you have been looking for all your life. Come, take it. Take as much as you want. I give you seeds of a new way. I give you the moon shining on a fire of singing women. I give you the sound of our feet dancing. I give you the sound of our flights flying. I give you the sound of peace moving into your faces and sitting down. Come, this is a giveaway poem. I cannot go home until you have taken everything. And the basket which held it. When my hands are empty, I will be full. Ashe.
I mean, it's full, filled, full, whole, taking shape, letting things feel the shape. Come on, full. full. I think that's been the word. I've seen full a lot in our chat. So yeah, we full over here. We filled up with love and healing and good vibes and restorative and transformative justice. We full over here. So thank you. We are going to get into Shedding Old Skin Like the Snake I've Always Been by Miss Fani. If you are ready, we are ready for you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Oh man, I'm so emotional now. It's been so powerful. This little story, I wrote it last year after having left a lot of toxic spaces, both in my professional and personal life. And so it was a nice culmination, and it just allowed me to do a little bit more healing and reflect. Here we go. I'm a proud snake. Yes, I said it. A year ago, I would have told you that I hate snakes, that they look disgusting. After all, my whole life, I've been told that snakes are dangerous, deceiving, and evil. So what changed my mind? What is so good about snakes that now I feel proud to be like one of them? Let me tell you. What really got me to identify with snakes is their association with renewal and transformation, and how significant they were in Aztec culture, which, also brought me closer to my roots and my ancestors. So snakes shed their skin multiple times a year to renew and transform themselves. They outgrow skin that doesn't fit them anymore. Now I gotta tell you, I am not new to skin shedding. I have done it many times before, sometimes without my consent or control. As a child of immigrants, I had to shed my childhood skin too fast so I could survive in a country that demanded too much from me. It was a survival skill. I also started shedding my Mexicanness and my prieta brown skin to belong in spaces where I was pressured to be more American, meaning white. I was also pressured to shed my queerness and sexuality to be more straight, pure, and feminine. I was pressured to shed my state of recovery to be more successful because my worth was measured by my production. I was too busy performing for others in my quest for belonging. I desperately wanted to be accepted. I wanted to find a home where I could finally fit in, even if it was not really who I wanted or needed to be. Again, it was a survival skill, or so I thought, until I realized that I was shedding my skin not for me, but for something or someone else. Why did I need to transform myself to receive acceptance? Like a snake, I was curious. I started asking questions, and my life changed completely. With awareness came change. Since then, I have been sharing skin that doesn't fit me anymore for years, mostly during after my college years. But it wasn't until last year that I finally understood that I have actually and finally been shedding skin on my own terms. Unlike snakes, I had not been shedding skin often. Sometimes it took me years to break free of tight skin because I was stubbornly or unconsciously holding onto old beliefs and habits that were no longer serving me. Was I holding on because I was afraid of not belonging? Of course. I didn't want to lose my family, my friends, my job. I didn't want to lose the respect, the reputation, the love, comfort that I thought I was getting. I thought I wouldn't be enough if I shed these old skins. So what shifted last year? Well, I was mentored by other snakes who showed me the way. They taught me that it was possible to renew and transform myself in radical ways that also allowed me to honor myself and those close to me first. From these sister snakes, I learned that I could redefine the notion of belonging so that I could comfortably and unapologetically shed any old skin that no longer fit me. And that's what I did. When I decided that I wasn't gonna let Trump supporters make me feel afraid to live in this country, I shed old skin. When I decided to love my prieta and brown skin and my accent and became unapologetically pro-Black and pro-Indigenous, I shed old skin. When I decided to stop being the good Latina and the good immigrant to convince people of my humanity, I shed old skin. When I decided to leave toxic work environments where I was tokenized, abused, and overworked, I shed old skin. When I decided to stop embracing capitalist values because I realized that I was enough, regardless of how much I produce or how many titles I have, I shed old skin. When I decided that I could celebrate my queerness while also loving my cisgender straight husband, I shed old skin. When I decided to celebrate, when I decided to get therapy to heal my childhood traumas so that I could be a better mother to my brown children, I shed old skin. When I decided to celebrate my sexuality and stop proving my purity to mi madre, la Virgen Maria, and the Pope, I shed old skin. While shedding old skin has been extremely hard, it has been so healing for myself and my loved ones. I'm not done, and I don't want to be done. I want to be in constant renewal and transformation until I'm closer to belonging in the home that I'm creating for myself. I'm in no hurry. As I continue growing, I will continue to redefine what belonging feels and looks like for me. And with that, I will decide which skin to shed next month or next year. It's going to be a lifelong journey, and I'm okay with that. You see why I love being a snake? What matters is that I'm no longer letting others decide who I am, where I belong, why I belong, where I'm from, and where I'm going. I decide when I shed skin again, and that is ultimately the self-love, healing, and power I need. I know that having this power comes with privilege. Sometimes I still feel guilty about having so many choices, but I also know that this is what my parents dreamed for me. They sacrificed everything they had to come to this country so I could have these choices, even when they have few or none. I had that choice to renew and transform myself, to live the life that my parents always wanted for me. And I'm not taking that for granted, not anymore, jamás. Here's to shedding more skins to continue honoring myself, my loved ones, and my ancestors. Con piel renovada, with renewed skin. Thank you.
Woo! Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Fani. That was beautiful. I'm literally just watching you like shed, shed everything, and when you want. Such a beautiful vision, such a beautiful description and a way to describe healing. Because healing ain't fun. It's not pretty. It's not easy. It's not cute. It's not something that everybody loves to do, just like snakes. I think that is beautiful. All right, moving along, we're going to have our reading number 6 that goes along with this piece that we thought paired beautifully by my good sis Kendall. We're going to be reading The Welder by Shetty Moraga.
The welder. I am a welder, not an alchemist. I am interested in the blend of common elements to make a common thing. No magic here. Only the heat of my desire to fuse what I already know exists is possible. We plead to each other. We all come from the same rock. We all come from the same rock. Ignoring the fact that we bend at different temperatures, that each of us is malleable up to a point. Yes, fusion is possible, but only if things get hot enough. All else is temporary adhesion, patching up. It is the intimacy of steel melting into steel, the fire of our individual passion to take hold of ourselves that makes sculpture of our lives, builds buildings. And I'm not talking about skyscrapers, merely structures that can support us without fear of trembling. For too long a time, the heat of my heavy hands has been smoldering in the pockets of other people's business. They need oxygen to make fire. I am now coming up for air. Yes, I am picking up the torch. I am the welder. I understand the capacity of heat to change the shape of things. I am suited to work within the realm of sparks out of control. I am the welder. I am taking the power into my own hands.
Because we always taking the power, right? Because that's our purpose. That's our work. That's our love, taking the power, okay? Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, because we are moving right along. My goodness, it's Maiya. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. I have not actually introduced myself because I've been reading the other pieces and I felt like it would be rude. But I'm Maiya. I use she, her pronouns. This is a piece that's kind of still in progress. I've been thinking a lot about colonization and how that's affected like my upbringing and my growing up and how I behave as a Black woman and kind of how I'm trying to, I guess, get out of that mindset that I've been birthed into. So here we go. This is called Refusing to be Colonized. I do not want to be civilized. To be cooperative is to be comfortable with being colonized, so you can call me barbaric. You can call me prehistoric if you wish. Lift the hand of whiteness from my throat and watch me bloom as I walk outside with only flower petals covering my titties. Remove the knife of the colonizer from my neck and let the queerness queef out of my flower. Let me be what I would have been had they not stabbed my body and rubbed whiteness into the wombs. They made me think I must be like them to survive, but I am too Black to be whited out, too queer to be whipped straight since birth. This society has infused me with white heteropatriarchy and my body has itched ever since. I have always been allergic to the toxicity of whiteness. I'm a Black girl vomiting up this digested self-hate because misogynoir is an epidemic and no mask will save you from this mutilated sickness of anti-Blackness, but only we will die from it. So I ask you to fight this disease with me. And by that, I don't mean deciding what soup I drink when I don't feel good. I mean, stop coughing on me, barking out mucus-coated sentences that just sound like excuses for why my liberation doesn't matter. Stop sneezing out that infectious verbiage and then refusing to excuse yourself. I think you need to apologize because lack of manners only shows lack of respect for my body. And I'm sure there's things I need to apologize for too. Things I'm still unlearning, so I'll have grace and patience for those trying because the system may still have a tight grip on our cerebral, but we can fix that if we stop this bloody climb to the top of a hierarchy that exploits people for breakfast and kills them for dinner. No one is free here. And I'm tired of conforming to the cage that broken white men who hate me built for me. Maiya would tell me to fly, to bite through metal with the sharpness of my words, so I won't apologize for whatever the fuck comes out of my mouth in defense of this body. I will not slit my wrist and hope the white blood pours out. I will not hurt myself to undo their mess. I've been lacerated enough. I will invite seeds into my lungs, seeds from others attempting to cleanse themselves from this ugliness, and I will water them until they form trees inside me so I can breathe again, until my body is full of more life than death. I am realizing Black women are not the only ones with these seeds that can help me breathe. I am realizing not everyone is my enemy. I am realizing there are women who won't cough on me.
or who will apologize when they do and not let that guilt eat away at them because they know guilt makes you lazy. I don't need medical care from a system that's trying to kill me. Give me my seeds. And when I can breathe, I will craft seeds for those still suffocating because people are choking slowly on the toxicity of this air. And my eyes cannot bear to see caged souls wandering in lifeless bodies, souls turning stiff like dead birds, only ever flying once the corpse turns cold. My eyes dim with all this death, so I search for seeds to feed souls. I plant hope for a better world in their minds. I plant seeds in their lungs so they can breathe the way Audrey and Belle did for me. So fuck white Jesus. I pray to my ancestors that is enough. I pray because I know if we water each other, we will all be able to breathe here. Thank you.
I mean, if we water each other, we can breathe here. Speaking of breath, let's just take a moment. We're all gonna breathe real quick. Just center ourselves, bring ourselves back. Inhale all this beauty, let go and heal of any like sadness or feelings that, you know, are pressing you down. I mean, because this is okay. The sad feelings, you know, thinking about your past, all that stuff, it's okay to feel. You need to feel it. So we're gonna inhale all this love, this healing that we're having, and then we're gonna exhale. All right, you ready? Everybody ready to breathe together? I mean, because we've been watered, have we not? So we gonna breathe together. All right, 1, 2, 3, in. Out audibly. In. Hold it. Out. Yes, neck roll. Cassandra, I see you. Let all that flow through your body. Feel everything, and it's okay to be. Thank you guys. I'm just, this has been so beautiful. Thank you. My goodness, it's Camilla, because period. Thank you, Pooh. Okay, and speaking of Cassandra, I see you down there, neck rolling, girl. So we're going to have Cassandra read Ansel Dua's Acts of Healing. My good sis, if you are ready, the floor is yours.
Hi everyone, I feel so lucky to share this space with all of you. So I'm going to read Acts of Healing by Gloria Ansaldúa. The Gloria Ansaldúa Literary Trust had this to say about this piece. Gloria Evangelina Ansaldúa believed that this bridge should be published by a large mainstream press in order to give it visibility, sustainability, and a wide audience. The Ansaldúa Trust is confident that Ansaldúa would be pleased with the additional possibilities this publication promises. As the following previously unpublished material, drawn from a 1983 Bridge preface draft titled, "And Not Acts of Killing, but of Healing," indicates, Ansaldúa viewed this bridge as part of an ongoing planetary transformational project. Before turning our eyes forward, let's cast a look at the roads that led us here. The paths we've traveled on have been rocky and thorny, and no doubt they will continue to be so. But instead of the rocks and the thorns, we want to concentrate on the rain and the sunlight and the spider webs glistening on both. Some of you, like us, are up to here with the chorus of laments whose chief chant is, "I'm more poor, more oppressed than you," who give suffering and pain more merit than laughter and health. And yes, we intimately know the origins of oppression. It brewed in our beds, tables, and streets. Screaming out in anger is a necessary stage in our evolution into freedom. But do we have to dwell forever on that piece of terrain, forever stuck in the middle of that bridge? This land of thorns is not habitable. We carry this bridge inside us, the struggle, the movement toward liberation. No doubt all of us have found by now that you don't build bridges by storming walls. That only puts people's backs up. Not acts of barging in the door and ramming our ideologies down people's throats, but of turning away, walking away from those who are not yet ready to hear us, who perhaps can never hear us. To stand our ground with those who look us in the eye, to wait for that glimmer of recognition to pass between us, to let the force of our being penetrate the other with gentleness. Touching is an act of making love. And if political touching is not made with love, no connections, no linkings happen. We each are our sisters and brothers' keepers. No one is an island or ever has been. Every person, animal, plant, stone is interconnected in a life and death symbiosis. We are each responsible for what is happening down the street, south of the border, or across the sea. And those of us who have more of anything, more brains, more physical strength, more political power, more money, or more spiritual energies, must give or exchange with those who don't have these energies, but may have other things to give. It is the responsibility of some of us who tap the vast source of spiritual political energies to help heal others, to put down a drawbridge. At the same time, we must depend more and more on our own sources for survival. Ayudar a las mujeres que todavía viven en la Huala, dar nuevos pasos y a romper barreras antiguas. To help women who still live in cages to take new steps and to break old barriers. Thank you.
Because old barriers are meant to be broken. So yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing that piece. As everybody in the chat has said, it's so perfect. It's amazing. It's poignant. So yes, thank you so much for being in this space and sharing. So I'm going to share. I'm going to offer. I'm gonna spit a little ditty. Just give me a quick second. I want to make sure I can read all the words. 1 second. I should have had this queued up, right? Unpreparedness, proper performance is being prevented right now because I wasn't ready. But y'all still love me the same, right? Thank you.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. I definitely been trying to hold it down. My bad, y'all. Give me 2 seconds. I'm trying to okay. I don't want it to be all. Thank you, my good sis. I will try to take my time. The time is of the essence, but we're doing good on time. I'm so glad. Oh, won't it work out for you if you let it? Okay, I'm almost ready. Almost ready. Okay, here we go. I invoke the voice, brilliance, and power of Kate Rushin. This is titled, I Have Laid Me Down for Black Girls Who No Longer Want to Be Bridges by Maiya Sinclair. Brick by brick, stone by stone, with outstretched hands, locked wrists, sweat on her brow, dusty palms, blood on her knuckles, blisters on her fingertips, she holds. Her back is but wood, in a ladder strung together by nothing but the tendons of her muscles. Yet she is trying, extending, reaching, mending, explaining, trying to be the bridge for people who don't even want to see the other side, for those who won't even make the trip, of those who won't even take the road that leads them to the waters, who didn't even bring a cup or let alone give someone else the first sip. There she lays, a shell of her former glory, trying to be the context in between the lines of the story, cracking, crumbling, rolling down into the depths, murky, dirty water, filthy, undrinkable, unable to sustain life. Pieces of her descending into a lowly place, nothingness. In those waters, you become inhumane. You lose empathy, void of feelings, justifying actions that are unconscionable. That is what you find in the midst of the rubble. Connect, travel, sustain, uphold, lift, and prevent. All things that bridges do. These things will you do, even if no one holds reverence for you? They continually tread across you as if you are commonplace, as if you ought to be there, merely fulfilling the needs of the world, used, unkept, and poorly maintained. To know something needs help, you must look at it, observe it every now and then. But they don't, because who walks with their head held down instead of looking of where they are going? But to be honest, they not even looking there. Eyes wide shut, tunnel vision to nowhere. From one bridge to another, I see you. From one bridge to another, I see you. You are not the gray dust that you are covered in. You are not the cracks and crevices that are embedded in your brick. You are not the rope of the fingers gripping at something that is slowly eroding. You are not the means that keeps mankind from falling into itself, into a place of no return. I can see you are tired. You have weathered a long storm. I can see the places where your soul is torn. This is no longer your burden, for this is not why you were born. You cannot save them, nor can you lift them up anymore. The cost is too expensive. It was paid with you, and you are worth so much more. Can't you see it? When the sun hits you by day, you are golden. You burst the culture like Brooklyn. Like the punk that are, you are locked in love. You are magic like Terabithia. You are stunning sight to behold, breathtaking, leaving all those who behold your beauty awestruck with the mystery of how you could be you. From one bridge to another, I know how you could be you. From one bridge to another, I know how you could be you. Through sacrifice and silence, turning a blind eye to those that lie, being optimistic and believing that others care too, by seeing others go before you and not sure more will come after. This I know because it was me too. This I know because it was me too. But we are tired. Our backs hurt. Our hands are clenched in the same position. The task has become too much. So here we stand, hand in hand. We will leave this world to its own devices. Get to where you need to go the best way you can. Should you all fall in the depths of no return, or should you get the courage to change, we will never know. For we will be off somewhere doing what we do best. But this time, for ourselves. Ashe.
Wow, 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 wow.
Woo!
Thanks, y'all. Y'all like that? Thanks. I look like you like that. I'll put that together just for you. No, I wrote that poem this time last year in Dr. Russo's course. And I think this is a great way to end this, is kind of just by like telling this little snippet, and then I want to get some reflections and thoughts from you guys. But this poem came about from just talking about this bridge called My Back with Dr. Russo, and me and Darius, we have a book of poetry, low key, that we need to put out. We got a whole book of poetry that we need to put out. But I wrote this poem because I was just thinking about, we talk about this bridge called My Back, but don't nobody want nobody walking on them. We tired of people walking on us. As Black women, as women of color, we are tired of people walking on us. We are tired of being the context and the lines that people refuse to read. We are tired of trying to tie them from point A to point B. We are tired of being the moral capacity for this damn world. So tired. Yes, with the T. Tired with the T. I saw somebody put that in there. We tired. And so that's how this poem came about. And I shared it in Dr. Russo's class. I think that was this fall. She was like, yeah, we need to do an event with that. And I was like, facts, we do. And so that's how we came here. That's how this came about. Yes, Dr. Letitia, I will get you that poem. So that's how we got here. That's how this came about. And it has been a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful experience. And it's just beautiful to see. I'll say it's bittersweet, right? Because this work, I think it's what me and Camille were getting into this on our live. This work is not, while it's beautiful that it's still relevant, it's actually quite shitty that this is still relevant. It's actually quite terrible that this is still applicable, that, you know, they wrote this for us, right? This was written 40 years ago, right? So this is written for me, my generation, the girls and the guys and the gals and the peoples and the folks that are in school right now, that they are living and breathing and have the capacity to understand this book, right? And even for the people that don't have the capacity to read this book, that's who this was intended for. And it's still relevant. It's kind of like, why? But we know why, because racism and oppression is a wheel. And every time you roll your liberation wheel forward, it morphs into something else and it comes right after you to overtake your will. But we do this work for our daughters, for our sons, for our people that come after us, not our immediate generations, but the generations that come forward for centuries, you know, that they won't need us. They'll be like, this is so outdated. Wars? We don't have wars. Prisons? What is a prison? Capitalism society? No, we all share. You know, the things that we talk about now hopefully will be outdated because they've been, you know, undone. So I think that's my last little bit. I would love to have a moment for reflections because we're kind of like ahead of schedule. I extended it to like 8:45, so we have a little bit of, so we don't have to just quickly run out of here. But I would love like 2-3 people. Please raise your hand so I can know like who's going to say something. Darius, I fully expect you to say something, just letting you know. But I told you that yesterday, so you're not new to this, you're true to this. But anybody else not named Darius that has a reflection, I would love, love, love for you to share. Floor is yours, Darius.
Okay, not to put me on the spot as I'm grabbing my mobile device. Again, thank you so much for this event. I don't know what events like this look like when your career is over at DePaul, once you slack to the alumni circle. But I'm sure Ann and Layla and Dr. Sternberg, other folks that are on the call, like this was so powerful and so necessary, especially in this moment. Just the sheer truths of the way in which women are silenced, women of color are silenced, trans women are erased. Like, we have to do a better job at centering women, right? To have to do a better job at dismantling the patriarchy that stands as the barrier to women, to womanhood, to feminism, to femininity, period. And once we knock that shit down, once we burn it down, it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that, because I believe we're thinking about, right, moving towards the third world. What does the third world look like? What does third world feminism looks like? How are we rooted in this mission? How are we dismantling it, right? Yes, imagining new, vast worlds where we can exist. Because ain't not nan nothing gonna be what it is without a woman. Ain't not nan nothing. Yeah, and I got a degree and I said that. Ain't not nan nothing would be anything without a woman. And so I just want to thank all the amazing, beautiful, gifted, talented, whole spirited women that are on this call, that have been holding space this entire time. Like, I am so honored to be and share space with y'all. I'm so honored to have been invited, right? I'm so honored. I made a post like, yo, I'm performing alongside niggas, and I'm kind of fangirling, but yeah, I just want to thank Maiya so much again, and Dr. Russo, you know, until the wheels fall off, my love. But sure, I'm open to hear any other, you know, reflections and any other questions for myself or any of the folks who performed or read, or like, what are folks thinking?
I know that I helped organize this event, but I just wanted to say a little something. Thank y'all for helping make this such a brave space. It took so much for each and every one of y'all to come up here and to say what you did, especially in this virtual space. I feel like it's not easy to build community in such a way, and still, you know, we found a way to pull it together. So just wanted to say thank y'all. For really, you know, making this what it was.
We got room for like a few more people. Don't be shy now. For real, folks ain't got nothing to say. Y'all was just all in the chat. Just, ooh, yes, this is great. Yes, you, yes, yes, yes. Now y'all silent. Come on now. This is not the time to be.
Daughter, people have to process, daughter. Silence does not mean uninterest in most times. Okay, darling? It's folks letting it sit. And that's okay. It happens like that sometimes.
Yeah, I think this has been a hearty and wholesome event. I think that everyone is processing everything. I think we can close it out actually and leave everyone to think for tomorrow. Hopefully all you come tomorrow too. But yeah, I think we should close out.
I do. May I?
Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Fada.
I just want to give my sincere gratitude for all the voices represented and perspectives represented, and the beauty of choices of words, and the life experiences that informed these words. And I'm very moved, and I'm not one for a loss of words for those that know me, but I do want to say this has been a most inspiring and hope-filled space, which I really needed, and I think we all need. And I want to thank each and every one of you, from the organizers to every participant and audience member, to celebrate this important day where gender equity and justice must emerge. And I appreciate everything that everyone is doing. And I love, love, love your work. So thank you for inspiring me.
Well, I definitely wasn't trying to bully nobody into saying nothing. I'm really nice. I got lots of grace and hope for everybody, okay? Lots of love. But I definitely just, again, Dr. Russo, did you have anything before I really end the event?
I just want to thank you. Thank you, Maiya. Thank you, Nina and Kendall and Camilla and Darius and Nikki and all of those who share your works. And I'm just so moved by it all. And I feel like, wow, you know, like the ability to create such a space like this, it's just been so, yeah, it's just so moving, I guess. So thank you so much. I think this was it was such a beautiful tribute to this bridge. It was such a beautiful tribute to everyone here. And yeah, I just have such gratitude and love, and yeah, I'm inspired. Yeah, you know, I just really appreciate the space that you were able to create. I think it's an unusual space. So beautiful space, loving space, caring space, you know, so so just thank you. Thank you all. I hope you all are able to come to the event tomorrow. And I hope we can continue creating spaces like this. I just have a lot of gratitude for it. And it reminds me of what we need to do. It's like really in the vision of this bridge, you know, all these different voices coming together and sharing stories and offering the vision of a different future. So thank you.
Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, I'll just say good night. Thank you all so much. I hope this has been healing. I hope this has been filling. I hope this has been fruitful and inspiring. I hope your imagination is sparked. As we imagine a better world, we envision a better world, we call forth a better world. And so, yeah, thank you guys so much for tonight. This has been amazing. I'm so full. Thank you for allowing me to guide this space. Thank you to the team. Thank you to the orgs. Thank you to our headliners. Thank you to our talent. Just, I have gratitude. And if y'all know me, thank you is always and ever on my lips. But we have so much to be grateful for. Just grateful for breath, you know, being able to breathe and be in this space and be alive. So thank you guys so much. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. And we out. See y'all tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank y'all. Love y'all. Be safe.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
Okay.